Alright guys, so today we are going to look at 8 different word problems, and we are going to first decide if they are a one-step or a two-step problem. And then after that we are going to create the strip diagram and equations for all 8 of these problems. So let's get started. Here's the first question. Lee has 6 bags of candy. There are 15 pieces of candy in each bag. How much candy does Lee have in all? So, do you think we're going to do one thing or two things to this problem? That's right, we're going to do one thing. So this is a one-step problem. The next question says, James has $187. His mom gives him $150 for chores for the month. How much money does James have in all? Again, do you think it's a one-step or a two-step problem? That's right, it's a one-step problem. The next question says, Logan has 127 pieces of paper in one journal and 283 pieces of paper in another journal. He used 183 pieces of paper from the journals. How much paper does Logan have left? Well, in this problem, we are actually doing a couple of different things. So that means that it is going to be a two-step problem. The next question says, Marco has $832. He spends $420 on a new TV. How much money does he have remaining? One step or two step? That's right, it's going to be a one-step problem. The next question says, a farmer has 734 plants to feed his animals. He feeds the pigs 149 plants and the goats 321 plants. How many plants does the farmer have left? So what is this going to be, one or two step? That's right, it's going to be a two-step problem. The next question says Jackie has $14. Her mom gives her $16. She then shares the money equally with her brother. How much money did each person get? So are we going to do one or two steps? This one's a little tricky, but it actually is a two-step problem. The next question says, Debbie has 24 bottles of water. She shares them with herself and 3 friends. How many bottles of water does each person get? Now again, do you think it's going to be a one-step or two-step? That's right, it's going to be a one-step problem. The final question says, a garden has 5 rows of plants. Each row has 6 plants. A family of birds ate 14 plants. How many plants are left? So if they're going to eat 14 plants, that means that we have to first figure out the plants and then they eat some. So it's actually a two-step problem. So what we're going to do next is we're going to create the strip diagram and the equation. So for the rest of this week, I am actually going to model all of the two-step problems and you are going to be in charge of the one-step problems. So let's go ahead and get started. So this is the first two-step problem that we had. So it says that Logan has 127 pieces of paper in one journal and 283 pieces of paper in another journal. He used 183 pieces of paper from the journals. How much paper does Logan have left? So I'm going to first read the word problem again because that was just one word problem, or that was just one time, so let's read it again. Logan has 127 pieces of paper in one journal and 283 pieces of paper in another journal. He used 183 pieces of paper from the journals. How much paper does Logan have left? So, what is the first thing that we need to figure out? That's right, the first thing we need to figure out is how much paper he actually has. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw my strip diagram for the first step. So, I know that he has 127 pieces of paper in one journal. He has 283 pieces of paper in another journal. And we're trying to figure out how much paper he has. So if I wanted to write an equation for this, I would say 127 plus 283 equals the total amount of paper. So that's the first step. Now for the second step, it's going to be a little bit more confusing because we don't know all of the parts yet, but we can still figure it out. So after we figure out how much paper we have, now we know he uses 183 pieces of paper. So he's going to have some paper, he uses some paper, and now we're trying to figure out how much he has left. So if I wanted to draw my strip diagram for that, it would look something like this. He has a total amount of paper, and this is going to be the same number as this, and we can fill it in later. He uses 183 pieces of paper, and we're trying to figure out how much paper he has left. So our equation would be our total amount of paper minus 183 pieces, and that gives us our number of pieces of paper that is left over. Let's look at the next question. The next question says, a farmer has 734 plants to feed his animals. He feeds the pigs 149 plants and the goats 321 plants. How many plants does the farmer have left? So that was the first time, so let's go ahead and read it again. A farmer has 734 plants to feed his animals. He feeds the pigs 149 plants and the goats 321 plants. How many plants does the farmer have left? Now, the first thing I have to do is figure out how much he starts with. So how much is he starting with? 734. And how much does he feed the pigs? That's right, 149. So let's make the strip diagram for that. So he's starting with 734 plants. He feeds the pigs 149 plants, and we're trying to figure out how much he has left. So we could write an equation for that. It would be 734 minus 149 equals question mark. So 734 minus 149 equals however many plants are left over. Now, that's not the whole question though. The rest of the question is asking about the goats. So I know that he has some plants left over. He feeds the goats 321 plants, and then I want to know how many plants he has left over after that. So it could read something like this. Plants remaining, and this number actually will get filled in after we do the first step, and it's going to be the same one as this. So plants remaining is our total. He's going to take away 321 plants for the goats, and then he's going to have some plants left. So again, I can write an equation for this. So I'm going to say plants remaining minus 321 plants equals the number of plants that are left. And remember, after we've figured out the first step, we'll actually be able to figure out what this plants remaining actually is. Let's look at the next question. Jackie has $14. Her mom gives her $16. She then shares the money equally with her brother. How much money did each person get? Let's read it again. Jackie has $14. Her mom gives her $16. She then shares the money equally with her brother. How much money did each person get? So let's just start at the beginning. Jackie has $14 and her mom gives her $16. How much money does Jackie have left? Or how much money does Jackie have? So that's our first strip diagram. We know that she has $14 and $16, and we're figuring out how much money she has. So we could actually write an equation for that. We know both of the parts, and we're trying to find the whole, so that means that we're going to add $14 plus $16 equals, not plus, equals a total amount of money. Then we're actually able, excuse me, to figure out the next part. So the next part says that she shares the money equally with her brother. So if it's Jackie and her brother, that means that our strip diagram is going to look like this. So we know that there's a total amount of money. Remember, this is the same number from the first part that we can fill in after we figured it out. We know that Jackie has some money and her brother has some money, but we do not know how much money either one of them have. And that's what we're trying to figure out. So our equation could be the total amount of money divided by 2 equals the money that each person gets. The final question says, a garden has 5 rows of plants. Each row has 6 plants. A family of birds eats 14 plants. How many plants are left? So we know that we have to first figure out how many plants are in the garden. So I know there's 5 rows of plants and each row has 6 plants. So my strip diagram is going to look like this. I'm looking for the total number of plants, but I know I have 5 rows and in each row there are 6. So I have 5 groups of 6. So my equation is going to be 5 times 6 equals the total number of plants. So 5 groups of 6 gives me that total number of plants. Then it says that the family of bird eats, eats 14 plants. So my next strip diagram would look like this. The total number of plants, remember this is the same as from the first step. I'm going to take away 14 plants because they ate them, and that's going to tell me how many plants are left. So my second equation would look like this. Total number of plants minus 14 equals how many plants are left.